I'm going to go to the church and wish for a healthy baby, Nick. Aw, well, I mean, that's kinda nice. I'm not really superstitious, but it couldn't hurt, right? I suppose you're right. What's the worst that could happen? Do you want to go? I guess we should. We might as well show our support and go with our husband. I wish for a healthy baby. Me too, Chase. I hope the harvest goddess is listening somewhere out there. By the way, what is it, Chase? Which do you want, a boy or a girl? Oh, so this is where we get to pick the gender. So we can either pick to have a boy or a girl, or we can just leave it as a surprise. So I think I'm just gonna say no preference. Are you sure either one is fine with you? It really doesn't matter. I don't think it does. I usually pick, but you know what? Why not? Let's just leave it a surprise and see where it goes. Boy or girl, it will still be our child. Let's wish for a strong, healthy baby. Amen to that. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Tree of Tranquility. I hope you enjoyed that little cutscene I put at the beginning of the video. Wanted to just show that off. I would say that cutscene popped randomly about a week after the pregnancy announcement. I think it was on the 8th day of summer, but I didn't have anything to talk about back then, so I didn't really feel like recording. But that's good news to me because it makes me feel as if the pregnancy is not going to take as long as the pregnancy announcement, announcing that I was actually pregnant. I have a feeling I will be able to have a baby at the end of the month if we're so worried about the gender of the baby so quickly. And I just left it up to chance. I'm not really too concerned about whether I get a boy or a girl. I kind of cheated and I looked up what Chase's children look like, and I can't say that I prefer one way or the other, what the boy looks like versus what the girl looks like. I'm gonna have a hard time coming up with names. That's always the hardest thing for me, is picking names for animals and people and things like that. So we're just gonna have to see. We may end up with a boy and we may end up with a girl. Now, unfortunately, in this game, you only get to have one child. It's unlike Animal Parade, where you actually get to have two. So that's why they give you a choice about whether or not you want a boy or a girl, because you only get one child, so whatever one you have is what you are stuck with. It's a nice cloudy day out today, so why don't we have a look at what it is I've been doing around the farm. I'll let the animals out. It's cloudy, but not raining. At this point, my horse still has not grown up, but it's gotta be coming close to the point of growing up. It takes a full season, and I don't recall exactly when we got the horse, but I feel like it was close to the middle of springtime. So I'll go ahead and just milk my goat and milk my cow. I sheared my sheep yesterday. All the chickens are in good shape. The duck is doing well. They still have all their nice happy sparkles, which is great. I took the ostrich out for a run yesterday and stretched its legs. And I have a couple of new animals in the chicken coop. I decided to go ahead and replace my lost silkworm because it just didn't feel right to only have two. So I went ahead and I decided to get two more. One to replace the one that we lost. So we have Crawley here on the left. And over here we have Webby. In addition to the silkworms we already had, of course, on the right hand side here, Mr. Slink and Stretch. So I like the way that this looks now. It looks a little bit more complete. So we kind of have a nice symmetrical silkworm setup, and I actually do have room for 4 more silkworms, which seems a little bit much. I don't think I need to give myself quite that many silkworms. I think 4 will be plenty, and the barn is really nice and filled up. I like it, and I keep the food bins, oops, that's milk, not eggs. I try to keep the food bins stocked up just in case it rains or it thunders. I went ahead yesterday and I went and bought more food. I actually almost completely ran out of feed for the silkworms and the chickens. I think I was down to my last 20 bags or so. I was not keeping track of how many bags I had gone through, so I think I actually went and I bought like 200 bags. I just completely maxed out. You can only buy 99 feed at a time, so I went ahead and I bought 99 twice, and I figured that would be enough to hold me over, because the chickens most of the time can go outside. It's just the silkworms that I have to account for, and I have to, you know, basically give 4 pieces of feed per day. But they are also happy and healthy, and everything is good in here. Now it's still early in the morning, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick trip to the Lake District over this way. And I'm going to see if either Candace or Julius is home, or maybe Anessa or Jin. They do live right next door to each other, so I'm just going to go knocking on their doors and see if anyone's home. Oh, Anessa's home. So if we talk to her, we will discover that Candace and Julius had a baby, which is actually not the news I was looking for, because Anessa and Jin have also had a baby, but I do believe that the town gossip will be whoever the latest parents are. But Anessa does have her own unique dialogue once she has a baby. So her and Jin had a baby, and then Candace and Julius had a baby not too long after that. What I find interesting is they have a crib in their house, but the crib is empty. So, where's the baby? It's so odd. It's just so odd that there's no baby. There was a cutscene and she showed me the baby, but where's the baby? I don't know. I just find that to be so incredibly odd. The other thing I found odd was that there was no notification that they had a baby. I was expecting something in the mail saying, hey, we've had a baby, please come by and visit, or something like that. Some sort of indication that a baby was born, but there wasn't. Basically what happened was I had come to see Anessa and Jin, because I thought, well, they were the first couple that married. They should have a baby by now. What's going on? I walked into their house and the cutscene triggered, showing the birth of their baby. So I haven't played Animal Parade in a while, of course, but from what I remember, in Animal Parade, you do get mail from the parents when the baby is born, and then you also get mail from the parents when the baby is grown up into a child. So we're gonna have to see if in a month time, or however long it takes, we'll get mail from either couple that, you know, has a baby, and they'll tell us that it's grown up, and then we can go and see the grown up child. No one's home, so I'm just basically breaking into their house. But Candace and Julius's house doesn't even have a crib. They have 3 beds, which is nice, I guess, but they don't even have a crib. So it's a very odd sort of setup that they've had these children, but they almost don't tell you about it. And the fact that there's an empty crib, no baby, they only briefly talk about their children if you speak to them, you know, those kinds of things. I think obviously once the babies are grown up into children, we will be able to see the children walking around town, and we'll probably be able to interact with them more once they become an actual NPC. So Phoebe and Calvin and Renee and Toby got married a little bit later, and so I don't think that they will have children yet. I haven't actually tried to trigger the cutscenes, but again, it's going to be kind of cool that everyone's children are going to be about the same age. I kind of didn't plan it that way, but it kind of worked out that way, and I kind of like that. I think that that's kind of cool. All the kids in town will be able to go to school together and be around the same age. Come into Waffle Town, and I will give my cat friend some breadfruit. I'm still burning through that. I still got quite a bit of that in my rucksack here, so I've been trying to give the cat 2 pieces of breadfruit a day when weather is permitting. The first week of summer was very, very rainy. I also had a typhoon, so I wasn't able to really do much in the first week of summer because it was so miserable outside. So I did miss out on giving the cat some gifts, but again, so far so good. I'm just going to keep with it and see if we can eventually get the cat to come and live with us. That, of course, is the goal. That's the ideal situation. And now I will go back to the farm. You might be able to tell by looking at this field, but I obviously haven't really bothered to grow anything in the summertime. There's not really anything I need, and obviously I also don't need any money. But what I have been doing is I've been trying to keep the orchard pretty clean. I do have the occasional weed popping up here and there, as you can see, but I've been trying to leave lots of space for the oranges to come in. I figured at the very least I can pick myself some oranges and get a little bit of money that way. And I have been getting a fair few bit off of the 2 trees that I have here. I haven't even looked at my other field, to be honest, so I don't know what kind of mess that field is in. It's been a while since I've gone to the mountain. And then just the last thing I want to show off is just some of the stats in the bookcase. I did mention in the last video that I forgot to put a bookcase up, and I put in this green one. I know it really doesn't match the decor, but like I said, there's just not a nice looking bookcase to match everything else. Because it's been a while since I've actually looked through all of these statistics. So let's just start at the top here. You can see that I've grown every single crop in the game. And it always starts with just the decent quality. The picture for these are all just decent quality crops. So it will show you the price of a decent crop, little explanation of each of them, what season they grow in, how many days, you know, that kind of thing. But obviously I've gotten everything off of the trees, everything that I can grow in the field, so that's 100% complete. Flowers are also totally complete, as you can see. There's not that many flowers in the game, but I did make an effort to go through and grow them all. So I have that completely finished. I also have all the animals on the farm. This is a complete list of all the animals in the game that you can own, and again, this will just give you a brief description, what it produces, if anything, what it eats, how long it takes to grow into an adult, that kind of thing. That's a good picture right there for how our horse is going to look once it grows up. Our animal product list is also finished, so all the different kinds of milk, eggs, we've got our wool, cocoons, cheese, butter, and all the different kinds of yarn. And I am very, very surprised at how complete my fishing list is. I would have thought that I missed quite a few more fish than this. But really, I think the only fish that I'm missing are all the rare ones that can only be caught under very, very specific circumstances. So, as you can see, I've also been doing a lot of fishing as well, so that's really nice. I don't know if I'll ever actually finish this, but I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. The gem list, we completed this long ago. because I did so much mining at the very beginning of the game. I am still missing a piece of foraged item here, but I do believe that that's royal jelly, and that's something that you get when you grow flowers. So I know what that is, I just haven't managed to actually get it. And then our other items, I'm actually kind of surprised with how many things that I'm missing. But to be fair, this here, for example, is a shining cherry. I have no idea why a shining cherry would be any different than a regular cherry in the crop list, because we also obviously have this. So that's kind of misleading. I feel like, obviously, yes, I have had a cherry before, just not maybe a shining quality one. I think this is a high quality royal jelly, and I actually don't know what these last 3 things are. But again, this is fairly complete for the most part. So there's very few things that I'm missing from our main list of obtainable things in the game. I'm still working on the recipes. I think the mixer is about the only thing that I've actually 100% finished. Most other things I'm missing 1 or 2 different recipes, so that is still a work in progress. But I thought it would be fun just to look at that and just to see how far we've come. I think we've done a really nice job. And aside from the Firefly Festival, I don't really have a lot coming up as far as I know, so I will just keep playing and we'll see where it takes me. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.